Greetings, people of the internet. It is I, that Canadian Fangirl, back again to bring you your red hot news for this week of anime, for this week of anime and pop culture excitement. This week, so as many of my listeners will probably, but a long time listener probably remember, back in my very first year, I did the Anime Awards. These were my best and worst of anime of that year. It was like my back in 2023, back in my first year, I saw like episode 5. I was really proud of that episode. Yeah, I wanted to talk about, the best anime of that year. Really liked what I did. And then last year, as the end of the year was coming around, I was like, I'm going to do something different this year. So I'm going to do a tier list of everything anime that premiered in 2024. Now, if you've been listening for a long time, you would know that tier list is over 4 hours long. It took me 4 hours to record this thing, and even longer to edit. And after a day of a lot of stress, because that was not a fun day for me, I feel like I'm never doing this again. Because this was really stupid. Because this was really hard. So this year, for 2025, I'm bringing back the Anime Awards because instead of tier listing everything, I'd rather talk about the shows that were my personal favorites of the year and the actual awards, and not talk about everything. What I think about my issue with. So I added categories since that episode. I'll probably put a link to the first Anime Awards from last year. I think episode 5. So it was early that Canadian Fangirl, but I was proud of it. But that being said, 2025 was actually a surprisingly good year for anime. Which, well, a little bit of really good, a little bit of really good. Like, the amount of good stuff we got was actually surprising. We got more good stuff than bad this year, which I think is an improvement. So, we're gonna start going through it. I'm gonna briefly talk about everything gets the one winner and 1 or 2 runners up, depending on how I felt. Because a few of them will get special honorable mentions. Like I want to call out some stuff. So we'll start with favorite opening. I'm gonna give this to Yaiba Samurai Legend, purely for the fact that the song is really good, but when you add the high energy of the opening, it is a high energy work of art. It is this one continuous gorgeous shot of Yaiba, and you see everything passing by, and this blur energy and high energy, this high octane energy, these colors that pop, and you see all of these supporting characters, these people that they're fighting, and this goes by, and this beautiful collage of this, you feel like you're it is an experience which adds to what is already a pretty good song. Like, I wouldn't even say it was one of the best songs of the year, but it's like put together with the opening, and I feel like I just got off a roller coaster. It's like this was really epic for something that was obviously a remake, technically, of a show from a couple decades past. I thought Yaiba Samurai and the new Yaiba really started off with a really strong opening. Runner up, I wanted to give it a Digimon Beat Break. Like, Digimon always has really good themes, and Beat Break, with what we'll talk about more, but I think the Beat Break opening is a really good Digimon opening. It has this high energy sci-fi feel that you don't really get in a lot of Digimon seasons, but the way that they incorporate this idea of music into the opening and they incorporate it with the actual Digimon, I think it's really cool, and there's some cool, fun visuals as we see the entire group. And it does go to Digimon season, so it's only going to run for like 50 episodes, so there's that. And then particular honorable mention to both Disney's Twisted Wonderland, which, holy shit, I just freaking love that song. I think it's like one of the better songs of 2025. Like, Disney Twisted Wonderland has a good opening song. It's like, yeah, the Nightmare Boys. And also, I want to go special call out to My Hero Academia's final season, which I can't say is great. I can't say it's a good song, but it's such a good full circle moment for My Hero that their final song is done by Porno Graffiti, and it's basically a complete mirror opposite to the very first opening from like 8-9 years ago. It's like My Hero Adventure come full circle, and to end My Hero on a really cool note is just awesome. Okay, so that's opening. Favorite ending. For me, it's Bureaucrat the villainess dad been reincarnated. With his one, probably one of the best villains of the past year, and villains that have a lot to them. But oh my god, dad been reincarnated, but it's fun because it's a good subversion of villainous tropes, and also fantasy tropes in general. But the ending is amazing. It's because of how fun and high energy this ending is. Everyone is doing a samba dance, and like just partying up, and you have you have a main character both as this dad and as the villain that's dancing together. It's like, God, that is fun. It's a good ending. Up goes to the second season of Rom the Half, just because I love how cute it is. I think Rom the Half has particularly the ending has a really cute art style. It's a simplistic looking design, reminiscent of almost, the classic manga. I like how it feels so old school while also looking really modern. Down to the fact they kind of brought back the Akane dance. And all the other kids technically get the dance, and you get some cute moments with Rama and Akane. And while we're here, I'll throw a bone to My Hero final season. Because I like how they go through all the key moments leading up to it in an ending. Like, that's a really nice touch. Favorite action. So that was tough. I literally sat there. It's like, actually, I think I will give it to Gachi Okuda. The brand new Shonen series, which has been a lot of fun, and part of the reason Gachi Okuda is good for a lot of reasons. It's got a great, it's a new world. It's got a really fun cast. I think its story is interesting, but action scenes in this show go hard. Oh my god, and everything in terms of an action scene in Gachi Okuda, you see it's like, this is insane. They are throwing all the stuff to this thing, like the movement of like how these characters move and how they dodge and how they're throwing out attacks, and it just makes this really this cool new world even more interesting, which I appreciate. Oh, I should probably mention this that the awards specifically are for new shows that premiere in 2025. See what well they do, but I want to give better attention to new shows because my run-off with favorite action is probably Sonda. It's like, I could give the Dandadan, but it's like, everyone knows the action Dandadan is amazing, but Sonda, done by the same animation studio, done by probably a lot of the same team as Dandadan, really sets itself up as something with some cool action. And it's more than an action because it's also got some drama in it, but the action scenes look cool. You can tell they employ the Dandadan guys to help with Sonda, and it makes the show stand out all the more. Special note to Yaiba Samurai Legend with this has some cool action. Favorite adventure. literally was hard because so many adventure shows or action shows, so I eventually just went with the Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. The Power Ranger that's the guy. It is a cool adventure that creates a world that combines both the world of Super Sentai and the world of this kind of this fantasy world and combines them together to make a really fun setting. It's where you're like, yeah, I like Super Sentai, I like fantasy like this, combine them together and they work surprisingly well. Like, it is so amazing how well these two surprisingly very different genres actually mesh well, and they make it fit in a way that makes sense. And it's a fairly boxed out fantasy, but the thing they do make it full of fun adventure. I do enjoy traveling along with typical Red Ranger and leading a party of a mage and a princess and uh basically a knight. It's like it's a cool adventuring party, and it is fun. Runner up goes to New Saga, which is not doing anything new with the whole time travel hero it's trying to prevent the uprising, but I don't know, what I like about it is the fact that it does seem like it's not trying to, fall into a lot of tropes. Or it's like, our main dude has memories of what happened before he traveled back in time, and now seeing how this world was 3 years before the invasion of the Demon King, you really get a sense of what this world was like and what our heroes are trying to save. So I think it was a good fan there. I thought it worked. Moving on to best sports. I mean, it's Uma Musume Cinderella Gray. Like, it's not like we get a lot of sports shows, but Uma Musume Cinderella Gray, one, got me to discover the Uma Musume franchise, that holy shit, Uma Musume is a rabbit hole if you are not in it. But the fact that they can take what is essentially a gotcha game for horse girls and turn it into a high stakes sports drama about racing, and you get really into the interpersonal lives of all these different horse girls and how all of them have their own lives and how they all have different reasons for why they run and why they race, and you get so invested. Like, Overly Cap is the lead, but I get so invested. Like, all the other horse girls that are in the dudes, like Super Creek and Timon Lacrosse and Dick the Striker, and holy shit. At the time of this recording, they just aired the Owen McKinnon. And like watching that race is like, oh yeah, like, it is surprisingly, it is amazing how well they make this so compelling to watch for a show that is about horse girls. These are little girls with horse ears, and they make this some of the most compelling drama I've ever seen. This is up there with like some of the best sports stories of all time. I don't know how you do it, but I got so invested, and I watched all of it, both shows. I watched it in spring. I'm watching it right now. Holy shit! It's probably one of the best sports shows of the year. It's probably one of the best animes of the year. We'll get to that. Runner-up goes to Medalist. Special call out because I don't think Medalist got too much attention being on Disney. That's Hulu. But Medalist was a really, really compelling sports drama about figure skating, and it is nice to see figure skating come back in anime that's not yelling on ice. Or that, and we had that one show a couple seasons back when no one remembers it. But, like, making it a more personal story about this small child who getting the figures getting kind of late, teaming up with her trainer who never got to really do figure skating because of a lot of backstage drama. It just shows how intense the world of figure skating and ice dancing is, and it just makes for a really good story. And it's getting a season. If season 2 is coming up, and I'm excited for that. So, moving on, back to romance, which is hard because romance this year was really good, but I have to give it to The Fragrant Flower Bloom with Dignity. Netflix's attempts to bury this show notwithstanding, because holy shit, Netflix did a show so dirty for being one of the best shows they had on the service. I freaking loved this show. Not only is this a really good romance between two leads, but the overall feeling of friendship and camaraderie and the parent and family in this show was just so special. I sat there, it's like, I'm killing up watching this show. It is so good, and seeing how two leads just find happiness together. It's like, oh, this show is so good. Oh. Shame on you, Netflix, to kind of kill this show. It deserves way better than it did. Runner-up goes to Betrothed My Sister's Ex, which, something, title aside, I thought was a really decent romance, which, okay, it is mainly just a lesser version of My Happy Marriage, kinda, I think it was with no self-confidence, no self, being married to like one of the world's best dudes, and I think My Happy Marriage did that better, but the way this story told its story was just so cute. I just have to love it. Best Slice of Life, which was surprisingly hard because Slice of Life is not a genre you come across, but I'm gonna give it to Anne Shirley, because like I said, it was like, Anne Shirley is totally a Slice of Life when you think about it. You're like, you're just following, the journey of Anne Shirley, and it's like, it is a really good adaptation of Anne of Green Gables. Like, I'm Canadian, I have to like Anne of Green Gables because it is a Canadian treasure. It was made a Canadian staple. Like, most Canadians know the story, know Anne of Green Gables. But this was a really good adaptation of Anne Shirley. I think it just went through the story in the books really faithfully to an extent. I think I read the books once. I think I read it in school, whatever. But yeah, it was fun. It was chilling. It gave you exactly what you wanted. Runner up goes to Catch Me at the Ballpark, which I think no one's watched, but for a really laid-back story about going to a baseball park and the lives of the people who go there, from the vendor girls who are selling beer to the people who are selling the food to the fans watching the game, the announcers, you're standing there, it's like, this is just fun, just watching this laid back story about these people these people watching baseball. It's like, it's all you want. It's chill. Best horror, which honestly saying it's like not too much horror, so I'm gonna give it to Hell Teacher Nube. Not that I think it's the best horror series, but because it was on YouTube, it was on the Remount YouTube channel, and because that YouTube channel was really stupid with it, well, they only had the new episodes up for like a week, so if you didn't watch it, tough luck. I hope they fix that. But one, it looks really good. I like what they're doing with these remakes. Well, they modernize it to an extent, but they keep these old school designs to make them look like they're still timeless, and it gives them this way better look. And that being said, it has some legit good creepy imagery. So now that you can watch it, because it's probably already off of YouTube by this point, but hopefully the Renown channel. I mean, the second part of the season is coming up next year, so hopefully they do something. That's a weird channel. Runner-up goes to the Summer Haku Who Died. Below the line, or that's actually a horror series, or if it's just like a psychological thriller, but it toes that line really well because the dread about Hikaru and Yoshichi and their friendship as they just kind of navigate the goings on in this town that leads to this big old mystery of what exactly is in the mountains. You think it's like, no, this is good. This is some good suspense. This is some good thrills. I'm glad I watched it. It's one of the better shows this year. Best comedy has to go to City of the Animation. Purely because City of the Animation, this show was consistently so funny. Every single episode, I got mad laughs from like every single episode. From the delivery, from the animated action. I am still thinking about that takoyaki joke from like episode 3. Yes. I am sorry again, but God, it's such good build. I don't dare spoil the joke because it wasn't that funny, but the fact of them. The fact that they like scene and then they repeat it again, and when they do for the rule of 3, they subvert it and like. Oh, nothing as funny as that, but like, holy shit, that was some good. Like, I love the one episode when they're playing with the idea of they're playing with the preview and one of the, I think it's like episode 10, like has a good joke. There's so many good jokes in City of the Animation. Kyoto Animation came back with a vengeance with City, and it's like, I am so glad I watched that. It is so good. Runner-up goes to Milky Subway The Galactic Limited Express, which was a short anime on YouTube. If you're not watching it, it is available on YouTube right now. Go watch Milky Subway. It has some really good jokes. Like, there's a lot of really good stuff in Milky Subway, but those are really good comedy. Like, oh, I saw that, like, oh yeah, I guess that does count. Yeah, I'll get that. Probably not too many people watched it on YouTube. YouTube had some good stuff. Like, I didn't put there's no freaking way I'll be a lover unless I'm any awards, because I think, oh, that's okay, but that was a good home if you want. That was a really good home. You can't watch it anymore. Thanks, YouTube. That's Shonen. Probably this year was probably Gachi Okuda, which was as I said in Best Simple Action, Gachi Okuda had good action, it had some good world building, and has a really fun cast. It's just one of those shows where it's like, this is probably going to be one of the new big shonens. Now that My Hero is done, Jujutsu Kaisen is ending, Demon Slayer is ending, all Chainsaw Man Second still going, but Gachi Okuda is probably going to be one of the new big ones, and it was fun to watch. It's definitely a good new shonen. Runner-up, I want to give The Witch Watch, just because I I can't say Winter was one of the best shows this year, but it was a good comedy and it had a lot of good heart. So that's what I want to give it to. And also the My Hero Academia Vigilantes, which I like My Hero. I like Vigilantes is just another good version of Vigilantes. Alright, I'm back. My computer's not gonna give the ghost any day now, so I was talking about Best Shonen. Again, Gachi Akuta, I think is a really good new shonen. Which Watch was fun, and My Hero Academia Vigilantes is a really good follow-up, or like spin-off of the My Hero universe that is probably going to keep My Hero somewhat relevant now that the main series is finally done. Best sequel, which is really hard because at the end of the day there were a lot of good sequels. So I gotta give it to Dawn of Season 2, the final season of Dr. Stone, File 4 Season 3 coming back with a vengeance. I'm giving it to Total Ban Hanako Season 2, which I don't think anyone expected to really come back because it was, I think, in hell for like 5 years, and I particularly because like you watch Total Ban Hanako, it's like, with to be fair, I think a lot of it was COVID, but it came back, it continued the story, it elevated the story in a really, really good way, and I can't say I'm not happy that Total Ban Hanako is back. Run Up, again, it could have gone to anything, so, but I want to give it the Grand Blue Dreaming Season 2. Because of it, I was finally able to watch Grand Blue Dreaming, and it is probably one of the best comedies I've ever seen. It is so stupid. It is, and it's and the fact that it came back, this diving anime came back and was just as stupid as it was so many years ago, which is not for me because I only watched the first season this year because of reasons, but good follow-up. But again, it's coming on to any of the sequels. I could throw out to My Hero final season for ending it on a wonderful note. I did not get the hate people have for the ending. Danganronpa season 2, which was great. Dr. Stone's final season, which is leading into a fantastic finale. The final season of File Force, which is coming back next year, so. But there were so many good sequels this year. But yeah, all you do those. Best Outside of Japan, which. Best Outside of Japan, I have to give it to China's To Be Hero X, which is one of the best new shows of the year, let alone one of the best new things to come out of and wasn't made in Japan. Holy shit, I was surprised with how good To Be Hero X was. Oh my god, some of the best action. The action scenes were incredible. The animation was beautiful. The story was decent for the way it told the story of the build up of like so many new heroes and how it all tied together into what is this supposed to be, this big finale. And man, it was one of the best things to come out. It was one of the best things I watched this year. Like everything in time, I got new. Everything in time, Saturday wrote out like I gotta watch To Be Hero X. This is like one of the greats. Runner up goes to Lord of Mysteries for being visually really nice looking, having a interesting power system, having this really interesting cast. Lose points for the fact that World of Misery, there's a lot of word salad. It's like, I'm not sure I fully get what these people are talking about, but it's so interesting. But it's like, they're so invested, I'm kind of into it. Best music goes to Rocket the Lady's Modesty. Yeah. Like, here's a fun show about these prim and proper ladies getting down and dirty in a rock band. It is immensely entertaining. It is nice. The passion these ladies have for this very unladylike music is some of the best. It's some of the best interaction, and it's so really coded. It is impressive. It was just a fun show. Runner-up goes to Bang Dream and the music of the Dice Cast. The Bang Dream spin-off from If I Go, whatever. One, it makes me want to watch Bang Dream. It's my go. But the drama and the interpersonal issues of these women, of these four main characters, was interesting enough that kept me invested. It was nicely animated. Music was really good. Yeah. The Hot Trash Award has to go to Backstab in a Backwater Dungeon. My former comrades tried to kill me, but with the power of unlimited gacha, I gained level 9,999 friends, a mouthful of revenge against my former party and the world. You know, it is the trashiest trash I've ever trashed. I freaking love this show. I saw that title in a bookstore. It's like, anything with the title that ridiculous has to be ridiculous. And it is pure revenge trash. And I kind of love it for being trash. It is not a good show. It is awful. It is so awful, but it's so entertaining awful. I love this show. Runner-up goes to Bon Vampire, which is not good. I am not saying that's a good show. I looked at that, it's like, okay, that's not a good show. This main character is problematic, because it's way leading into grooming. It has way too many grooming implications, but there are a handful of side characters that almost make these that are kind of funny in their own way. It's like, okay, it's not a force of humor, but it's like, this show is trash. I think it knows it's trash, and it's kind of having fun with the fact that it knows it's trash. That it knows the problematic main character, and we're good. Most meh had to go to Anyway to Falling in Love with You. I just don't have any emotion I can say about this show. It is such a bland romance. It's like, it wants to be this really engaging reverse home, but it's like, I have no thought on this show other than the fact that it looks okay. It's set in 2020, so they have to make random references. Like, I don't know if it doesn't make sense. I have no feelings, good or bad, against this show. It's getting a season 2. I don't care. If they elevate it, they elevate it. Runner-up goes to Can a Boy-Girl Friendship Survive? Again, I have no feelings for this show. It's like, this show exists. It is a really... It's a romance. It's like, okay, whatever. I just don't care. I really don't. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Best School Life, which is kind of like Best Slice of Life, but School Life, particularly the Slice of Life show that particularly have to do with school-age show, with school, have to do with a school setting, or have school was portion of it, which was harder to look at. It's like, but eventually I gave it to Mono. Just because Mono looked really pretty. It's like, you know what, Mono looked nice. There was some cool ideas in it. And it's technically a school club, so I think it counts. Because, like, I'm really looking to school Slice of Life. It's like, most of it that's kind of cute, but I can't really say, like, oh yeah, no, this is like a must watch. Like, yeah, Mono. Well, it goes to Bad Girls, which was just an entertaining co GL bait comedy about comedy that had like not too much, but it's like anything I watch, I was like, you know what, these girls are kind of dorks, but I kind of like them. Like, yeah, I'm enjoying the antics. They're fun. Let me hydrate. So I'm gonna right the wrong that Crunchyroll won't give us. I want to highlight Best Boy and also Best Girl because, like, hey, if Crunchyroll is no giving out those awards, I'm gonna give them out. Best Boy this year, which was a hard thing to look at, like there were a lot of them. I'm gonna give it to Subaru from ReZero Season 3, which it's like the one time I'll count a sequel because like, but Subaru's growth this last season was so good. It's like anything in time he was on screen, I just want to root for Subaru. It's like, yeah, my boy. God, I love him so much, and he grew so much this season. Like he's coming to his own as the hero that he wanted to be, but it's not because he's indulging in a fantasy. It's because he's generally become a hero, and I love watching his growth. Runner-up goes to Koichi from My Hero Vigilantes. I'm gonna get it wrong, and people can complain anyway, so who cares? I actually really like Koichi in Vigilantes. I think he's a really good My Hero protagonist. Like, honestly, I think he's the kind of deck you should have been early on, where it's like he has this, drive to do good, but he's also not seeking to be, really famous. So I think that works. I think that works for the story that Vigilante is trying to tell, and I do really like his growth. And special shout out to our boy Deku from MHA final season, just because our little boy has grown so much since since who he was back in the first season, and now he is finally the hero he strives to be, and it is so great to finally see. Best Girl. So, honestly, I sat there, it's like, honestly, I kind of want to give it to Oguri Cap, our favorite horse girl who is just so laser focused on how much she loves running that little else bothers her, and just watching Oguri Cap just grow through Musume is just one of the things. Like, I think it's why I got so invested in Cinderella Oguri. It's like, I love Oguri Cap. It's like, Oguri Cap is such a good character. It's like, man, I love her so much. Runner-up goes to Reiko from Kowloon Generic Romance, which is the show that I think had so much promise, but it's just like, I think Kowloon was only got a lackluster adaptation. But Reiko was a really good female character, and I just really liked her journey into finding her ideal self, and how she grew from being the shadow of whoever Kuraibi was to being the Reiko that she wanted. And whether or not it had to do with her kind of toxic romance, I think that works. And again, she's a good character. I like her. And runner-up, I have to give it to Amelia from ReZero Season 3, just because watching Amelia just take so much control in this last season of ReZero makes you realize how much she has grown from Season 2. Best Villain? Honestly, I can't really give it, I'm giving it to the Witch's Cult from ReZero. For many reasons. Regulus, what's the main witches? I can't remember. It's so long since I saw ReZero, but these 4 people who come into this town and that, totally destroy so many people's lives. That one was just satisfying watching them. It's just that one, all 4 of them were like terrifying in their own right, but It also led to some really satisfying moments and some really big moments, and I want to see more from the Witches Cult. Which, like, it's probably the first time, but you usually see the Witches Cult do more than just vital thing in the background. They're actually, an actual threat now, and so I'm really engaged in the reveal plot. Runner-up goes to All Boy Shigaraki from My Hero Academia final season, which, yeah, probably should be all for one, but Shigaraki's got more depth, and seeing how the final battle unfolds makes you realize how effective My Hero story really was, and how you legit feel for what's going on with the whole Shigaraki Alpha 1 situation, and how much you feel for how this world was shaped makes for a really compelling story. And that's one up. I think I want to talk about the Raiders from Gachiakuda, who haven't done much so far, but I did really like Amo, who technically not a Raider, but the few episodes that Amo got in like the going into at the final bit of the first half of Gachiakuda was really effective, and I liked her story. My favorite award, the Disney Wire Award. Again, I so love this award. So the show that I think Disney did the most this year is Disney Twisted Wonderland. Why? Because it's the only show that is streaming on Disney that Disney officially owns. It's like every other anime you can claim is a Hulu product, and it's like Disney only owns through their acquisition of Hulu. Disney Twisted Wonderland is officially Disney. They're not running that through Hulu. They're running that on Disney. And the lack of advertisement for what is probably one of the best mobile game adaptations, one of the best mobile games, is a crime. It's like discounting what's going on in Japan. I know Disney Japan kale, but I'm not in Japan, so the rest of the world, this is getting criminally overlooked, and it's a shame because Disney Twisted Wonderland has really solid world building and some stellar writing. Do not just sleep on it because you think it's a gotcha game about Disney villains who are anime boys. It's like, no, it is so much more than that. Don't sleep on Disney Twisted Wonderland. It is so good. I'm so happy Savannah Claus getting adapted next. I'm so glad we're getting more Twisted Wonderland with Savannah Claus stuff. It's like, yay! And I want to go run up to Bullet Bullet, which is honestly gives like anything that runs on Disney because they never advertise anyway. But Bullet Bullet especially. One, didn't even get a weekly release. They dropped all the episodes at once. And it's a spectacle to watch. And the fact that no one talked about it is just criminal. And so, leading in from the Disney Wire Award, I expanded that to, now the Amazon Wire Award. If Amazon Prime is now going to be streaming anime, now I'm scrutinizing them the same way I'm scrutinizing Disney. And not just for the AI dubs. It's like, one, the big Amazon why use AI dub? This is stupid. But in terms of their actual streaming content, the big winner of the Amazon why is probably Fujimoto Tatsuki 1726, which I didn't even know they were streaming. Because like, oh, that looks so cool. It's like, and then I saw it pop up, and like, Amazon got that? I saw no advertisement for that. Oh my god. Tatsuki Fujimoto is one of the best mangas currently working. It's like, they didn't even advertise that they were going to stream it? For shame, Amazon! I still haven't watched it yet because I had so many other things to watch, but it's like, that is a crime. That is a crime. I'll probably go watch it after this, so we'll see. Rump! Honestly, I could give it to City Animation. I'm probably going to give it the new Penny and Stocking Mosquito Belt. It's like, it's been how many years we finally got a new season of Penny and Stocking? and no one's really talking about it because it's on Amazon. Only because due to the fact that there was a new Gundam this year, and no one's talking. Well, probably for a good reason for G-Quack, but well, yeah, I'm gonna give it the new Penny segment was good about, which was really entertaining, and it's like I kind of wish you would have gotten more attention. The best dub. So I'm giving it to this season. I'm giving it to May I Ask for One Final Thing, which for Sama dub, I think its dub is really spot on. It's got a really solid English voice cast. Like, it is really, really good voice acting. I think they sell the absurdity and the overall insanity of this show really well. Particularly for a show where the main character is a probably nobody who likes to throw hand at anything in time. Someone who throws hand at any event. This is entertaining. Runner up. Actually, for me, I'm gonna give it to Gachi Okuda. Gachi Okuda had a really good dub. Like, oh my god, the raw emotion they had to perform that thing, I think worked. Like, it was just a good dub. It was just a good dub all around. With honorable mention to the second season of Ranma half, which Ranma 1/2, however you want to say it. With this again, it's not the original English dub, because that's probably never gonna replicate that. But the new cast is really good, and they bring a new energy to the affiliated Ranma. Best voice, best Japanese dub. Go with the Attack on Titan original Sin. Purely for the fact that for a show that is so raw and real with what it's depicting, because holy shit, that show was heavy. It is really effective voice acting. I think it is. Man, it's just one of those shows where you're like, God, I'm feeling like every single one of these kids, and the voice that is the central tackle piece is as cute and lighthearted and adds to with how harsh but also how wholesome the show is. And then like, run up. I don't know, I think of it Honey Lemon Soda because it's like, yeah, for what that show is, I think it was well acted. Best animation, which honestly, best animation is actually really hard, but I'm gonna give it to Gachi Okuda, purely for the fact that Gachi Okuda is probably one of the best looking action shows this year. Every single fight scene is fluid and flashy, and you can follow the action with your eye. It looks great. It's some of the best soccer this year, and even though they're not in a fight scene, the character animation, this dynamic, and just the look of this world is so fresh and new for a shonen. We're all go to Secret of the Silent Witch, with was just gorgeous all around. Like the light pastel color, the airy wave to it, the way that the way they made the magic look. Everything about this looks really nice and wholesome, and you can tell it's a small story, but the way it looks is so nice. Best cast has to be Apocalypse Hotel. Like, when I think of an ensemble cast, Apocalypse Hotel is probably one of the first, between our main character of, oh shit, what's her name? Main character, this army of robots looking at the hotel, the Tanukis, the characters who come in and out of this hotel. They all have this big personalities that work off together really well, and you enjoy watching these characters interact with each other. It also makes Apocalypse Hotel so fun, and what makes it such a good show. Runner-up goes to Kowloon Generic Romance because the cast was not the issue with that show. I think it had a really strong cast. You had Reiko and Mel. Oh, it's been a while. You had her friend. You had the other characters. You had these people, and like the way that they all interacted and came together, and it all helped, tell this overall mystery that was this area of Kowloon. This makes the story. I can't say the mystery is overall great, but it works. Best backlog. So this year I completed for my favorite backlog show I finally watched my backlog was definitely Escaflowne. Seeing Escaflowne for the first time was just an experience. I freaking love Escaflowne. It's one of my new favorite shows. But I already talked about Escaflowne, so go watch that backlog episode. And runner-up goes to Banana Fish. Again, one of my new favorite shows. I love Banana Fish so much. Again, go watch that backlog episode for more information. Best drama? For me, it has to be Taco Pete's Original Sin. I'm totally never going to watch Taco Pete again, but how intense that show gets and how real the action and the drama is, it does stick with you. Like, I'm not always remember Taco Pete's Original Sin. Then because this season, the one thing I know was Taco Pete scene. It's like, Jesus, so much child abuse. But that's neither here nor there. Taco Pete with a really moving drama, and it's definitely worth experiencing at least once. Runner-up goes to Mayabati Witches, which no one watched, and I'm probably alone on this, but I like how they told their story and how all of the girls technically had their own issues they had to work through and how that all came together by the end. It worked for me, and I liked it. Best Shoujo has to go to A Stella Brighter Than the Sun, just for being a really cute, wholesome little romance that I just want to see more of. I mean, it's hard to really say that because we get so few shoujo, but it was a really wholesome, it's a wholesome series that I enjoyed watching. Runner-up goes to Mechanical Marie, which would probably made me feel so much, because one, it's just cute all around, but it's also really funny. It's such a absurd comedy, I think they made it work, which is why I liked it. Now, then we'll remember I had the most improved category, which I'm vetoing this year, because there were really no split kill seasons that I felt fit that, so we're going to move right on to Best Movie, which honestly was probably Chainsaw Man, the movie Red Arc, which I already talked about my feelings with Chainsaw Man. This movie was an experience and a half. I freaking loved this movie. It just made me so into Chainsaw Man. This is like a film. Runner-up, honestly, it's like, I mean, this type of movie, I'll give it to Bond on the boundary of adulthood. It's like, I give props to Giggle. I mean, you got a prominent anime YouTuber making a film debut, and it's anime film debut, and I think he did a really good job, and I enjoyed Bond a lot. So, okay, we're gonna move on to Best Fantasy. I'm gonna give it to Clevitas. Like, we don't get enough Doug Fantasy, then Clevitas with a really good Doug Fantasy. It's grim, it's exciting, it's got this really edgy situation within there. It's like, man, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I am so I just want to see more. Man, this is a good fantasy. I hope we get more of it because it was a really interesting fantasy take. Runner-up goes to Secret of the Silent Witch, which for the whole, I just liked the fact that we got a fantasy about this, how they combined a fantasy with basically Bochi the Rock. So we got Bochi the Witch. And it's more than Bochi the Witch. But watching the struggles of this poor, brilliant spellcaster as she tries to navigate the fact that she has really bad anxiety, that warms the heart. It's such a cozy show that also has some really good suspense and drama that just works. And throw a bone to Gachakuta, but I won't talk about Gachakuta enough. Best Isekai? Again, you have to have both, because technically, most of the kind of fantasy, but not all fantasy are Isekai. So Best Isekai probably have to go to Lord of Mysteries. Because, like, yeah, technically it's an Isekai. It's a Chinese Isekai, but it is an Isekai. And honestly, I keep forgetting it is an Isekai, so probably discount it, but I wanted to throw a bone to it. I have to give it to Onio Kaiten Rebos, which is an original story, and I think is really, really entertaining, and not enough people talked about it, but like, it goes places in some of the later episodes, and it is really fun. And so runner-up would then be Zenshu, which I feel so bad for because Zenshu was supposed, everyone was talking about Zenshu back at the beginning of the year, and it's just fallen off in relevancy, but I like how they use the Isekai genre to tell this whole story, and I think Zenshu did it really well. Best sci-fi, I have to give it the Digimon Beat Break, because I love Digimon, and this is probably one of the best seasons of Digimon in a while, and I like Ghost Game. I even kind of like Epic Monsters, but Beat Break definitely hits different. Like, this is definitely them doing something with the Digimon formula that feels familiar but also feels new. I mean, it's one that you would go Ghost Game, but whatever. Runner up, I have to give it to Apocalypse Hotel. Like, it tells this story of hospitality and life and how life goes on in a very potent, fun, telling way, and I love the cast. The setting, it looks great. It has some great moments. Just watching these people just keep on living and how they come to grips with how it's probably never going to be the same as with pre-apocalypse, but I don't know. It was good. I liked it. I'm gonna throw a bone to Calhoun generic romance, but yeah. Best on each service. Now I sat there and it's like I came up with 4 or 5 shows on each service that were really good, but thinking about it, it's like I'm just gonna speed through a lot of them. Netflix was probably, I don't know, Netflix had a lot of good shows this year. So Leviathan was a really interesting pick. The Summer Who Color Died was an excellent thriller. Orb on the Movement of the Earth continued, and Orb was one of the best shows of the year. And The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, which is probably one of the best romances of all time, and Netflix should be ashamed they tried to bury it. Crunchyroll, probably the best thing on Crunchyroll was Apocalypse Hotel, because it was so unique and it's just an experience that I don't think most people should watch it, because people did watch it. It was one of the best things this spring. But also, Zenshu was, I think, a really good entry for early on in the year. Digimon Beat Break right now is one of the best Digimon seasons of all time. To Be Hero is one of the best shows I watched, period. And Chili with this wholesome fun. Disney Plus, probably the new Cat's Eye, which they really tried to Bailey. I mean, it's an ONA, but I don't even know seeing the original Cat's Eye, I thought it was fun. Medalist was a really good sports drama. Disney Twisted Wonderland, and Bullet Bullet. On Hideout, I think the best show Hideout I've had this year was probably Sora the Demon Hunter, which was a very different period piece anime, but I enjoyed what they were doing and how they show the progression of this one guy through a couple of years, and this kind of weird potent look on revenge and life and family, and I liked it. Rocket Ladies Modesty is probably a runner-up. It was a solid music band series. Call of the Night Season 2 was an excellent follow-up to the first season of Call of the Night. And also, Dad the Reincarnated, Bureaucrat the Villainess, was probably the best villainess as a guy of the year. Amazon. Probably the best thing on Amazon was probably Tatsuki Fujimoto 17 to 26. And also, Uma Musume Cinderella Grey was one of the best sports shows of the year. Sonda, which is a really good action show right now, and Study the Animation. So now we're down to the big ones. I think we'll start with the worst anime of the year and do my favorite anime of the year later. And so this year I had my top 5 worst, and I did a top 10 for best. So top 5 worst were Aquarion Myth of Abothans, which the best thing about Aquarion was its art style, because it looked way different than anything I watched this season. Said its story was kind of confusing and nonsensical. Oh, sorry, so 6. 5 is Togenanki, which I don't even hate Togenanki, but it's such a generic nothing of a shonen that I just can't like it, because it's like every other shonen, and it's like I just can't bother with the emotion for it. 4 is Solo Camping for 2, which is here because for a show that is so bland, so nothing characters, lackluster art design, nothing with plot, somehow it gets a Tuco. I don't get how this is a show that ran for a half a season. It's like, why does Solo Camping for 2 get a half-year run? It's like, this show, there is nothing to this show. Who looked at this show and said, give this show another 13? It's like, this show is not even, it's not worth it. But it's also not even the worst show of the year. It's so bland, but it got 2 colors. It's like, I don't get it. Number 3, Yandere Dark Elf, which is bad for the fact that it's trying so hard to not be a hentai, but it's a hentai, but it doesn't want to be a hentai, and it's like, this episode only 10 minutes long, so I think the show knows it's trash, but it doesn't help the fact that it's bad. 2, Momentarily Lily. I just can't watch Gohan's. Gohan's animation literally makes me sick, because like I can't go with Gohan's, and Momentarily had nothing of value. It's like, I am not familiar with Gohan's animation. This show has nothing to it. I am not watching this. Number 1 is Uber Blatt. Oh my god, Uber Blatt was so bad. Like, it is a bare bones revenge fantasy. It is purely there for revenge porn. It is not engaging to look at. I can't say it's good animation. Its characters have nothing to them. It's nonsensical because the plot makes no sense because they cut stuff. Because I'm pretty sure they cut a bunch of stuff in the manga, so it is bad. It's not a good show. It's probably the worst show of the year. So, without being said, let's go on to anime of the year. With first honorable mention to Orb on the Movement of the Earth, because Orb was an experience, and watching Orb's... The sad thing is, the best part of Orb was last year, but the stuff we got of Orb this year was really great, and it was some of the best stuff of watching how how an idea about philosophy and questioning the universe can just change society, and it's a thought-provoking anime that deserves to be talked about. But number 10, Anne Shirley, is a cute, wholesome, faithful adaptation of Anne of Green Gables. We all know the story of Anne of Green Gables. This tells the story in a very solid way. I think there's a better use of the talent over at Action Studios than in what they did last with the second season of Tower of God. But this was able to capture the drama of the book. They captured the fun, sweet spirit of the early chapters, and also the drama of watching Anne grow up. It was definitely worth my time watching. Number 9, The Apothecary Diary Season 2. I love The Apothecary Diary. Season 1 was one of the best shows of that year. This is one of the best shows of this year. They upped the ante. The action was intense. The mystery was intense, trying to figure out the whole mystery of tying in Jinxie's story with Mao Mao and the connection to what's going on outside the palace walls and everything. It ties together beautifully. It works. I've already done an episode on Apothecary Diary, so go watch that if you're interested. Yeah, this was a great season. 8 was Uma Musume Cinderella Grey. Again, one of the best sports dramas of the year. And it was about horse racing and the horses are girls. It is, but when you get to it and you see that the whole story is about the inner struggle of these Uma Musumes trying to do it because they love running, and Ogre Cat is a compelling character, and watching her grow with the rivalries between all these characters and seeing how these people have changed. It just speaks to you. I freaking love Uma Musume. Number 7 is Apocalypse Hotel. A telling story about life, the fragility of life, moving on. It was funny. It made you feel. It made you think. I love this show. 6 was the fragrant flower blooms with dignity. The best romance of the year. I love this show. It made me feel. It made me like I got into it for more than just the romance. I liked his friendship with his guy friend. I liked seeing how his relationship with his parents involved. I loved watching how he got to. I loved how he got to know her, and I loved how she interpreted it when we got to the end. It's like, this was a perfect romance, no notes. 5 is The Summer Hikaru Died. A complete opposite of something like Fragrant Flower. A intense, doomed yaoi about these two boys who have to come to the realization that this being is not Hikaru, but Yoshiki clearly was in love with him. and how that changed, how the universe worked and everything. God, what a good story, and watching as everything unfold was just so intense, and it was great. 4 is Disney Twisted Wonderland. Again, taking aside the fact that this is a mobile game adapting a Japanese gacha about a world where the Disney villains, they took the philosophy of one of the Disney villains, made into a school, and anime boys designed to look like a lot of these classic Disney villains, just go around and hang out and mainly just say that you can live out your BL kinks, turns into something with some of the best character writing and world building I've ever seen in my life. This show is peak. I love Disney Twisted Wonderland so much. It's probably my new obsession of the year. 3 is Gachakura. I recently got caught up because of stuff. I won't get into it. One of the best new shonens. I love its world building. I love its idea of how they live in a world of trash and how our main character sees value in trash and how they use that to activate their powers and how their power arises from that. It's a good world building. The power system is cool. Unite is cool. Overall, I think it's a great show. No notes. Number 2 is City the Animation. One of the best comedies. I've talked about it. Love City. City was great. Number 1 is To Be Hero X. I think it's one of the best shows I watched this year. I freaking love To Be Hero X. It was such a good show. Alright. So, again, number 2 was City the Animation. One of the best comedies I saw. It's gorgeously animated. It's lighthearted. It's beautiful. It has so much charm and comedy and there's freshness to it. It is everything about it made me enjoy it so much. That's my number 2. Number 1 is To Be Hero X, which is probably without a doubt one of the best things I saw this year. It's like we're talking about a show that had good drama, some good development, and another thing, world building, cool power system, a slew of heroes who all had their own various connections to each other. The animation was very unique. And when you get into how all it connects and how everything comes together, you realize this is something really special and cool, and I love it for that. It also had a great English dub, and it's one of those shows that between the action, the animation, the story, I just grew so invested in this world. It's one of the best things I watched this year. That was To Be Hero X, and that was my top anime of 2025. But all of these shows I was talking about, all great. I also had Secret of the Silent Witch, which I don't think makes this list now, but it was still really good. Everything I started talking about was all worth watching at least once. This was a good year for anime. So, thanks for listening to my return to the Anime Awards. This is going to be now a regular occurrence. I'm going to do this again next year, because this is way easier than doing a tier list. So, thanks for listening to this episode. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe over on Spotify. This will help the algorithm gain some notoriety. Last week's episode on my top 5 video games, for whatever reason, didn't upload to my Spotify playlist, so I re-uploaded it today, so it should be up now. So if you want to see my games of the year, go watch that while you're waiting for this, or watch that after that. I don't really care. Just get some attention. Comments are down below. If you read the description, the comments are right there. Comment about your favorite anime of the year, because there were a lot of good shows, and yeah, I understand sequels. If your favorite show was a sequel, let me know. Remember to share this around on social media with your friends. your allies, your enemies, strangers, family, people you don't know, people you don't know, whatever. Spread the word. That's how we grow the audience. That's also how the algorithm is happy, and people know. My rep went up through. If I was on your top playlist of the year, thanks for that. I appreciate people watching me. Next year, I hope I get even more. So I'm gonna try new stuff other than that, but whatever. Follow me on all my socials: Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, my Twitch. I am on YouTube, Pokemon J Fan, PKMNJ Fan. That Canadian fan, go over there. Go like and follow that YouTube channel if you're watching over there, and also comment over there if you're watching over there. Wattpad and fanfiction to read what I write. I'm probably gonna update something maybe this week. I don't know, probably before Christmas. I'm not gonna promise anything, but we'll see. Yeah, Wattpad, fanfiction. No gatekeeping. We don't gatekeep the community. If you like something, you're a fan of it. Don't let other people tell you otherwise. And remember, when people ask, what fangirl do you listen to? Where did that Canadian fangirl? Which Canadian fangirl? That Canadian fangirl. Alright, later people!